Good evening and welcome to the Rockland Select Board meeting of Tuesday, May 6, 2025. Tiffany Needham is feeling a little under the weather, so I will be your host this evening. Please be advised that this open meeting is being broadcast live and recorded for playback at WRPS at youtube.com/WRPS Rockland. And please go to WRPSRockland.com for further information. Please also be advised that the open meeting law gives the chair of a public body discretion to decide if the public comment will be permitted, but the law does not require that a public body allow public comment or public participation during its meetings. Our first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Select Board Member Elward, will you please lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The second item on the agenda is community announcements. Courtney, do you have any?
Good evening, everyone. So I just have a few community announcements tonight. The first thing that I want to flag is May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I just want to remind everyone about that. There's a full calendar of events, happenings, different tips and tidbits for kind of raising awareness around mental health that are available at on the town's website, also on a few of our community services Facebook pages. Both the Rockland COA, the Rockland Memorial Library, and the Rockland Recreation Department are all participating in this, as well as WRPS. So, and probably a few other departments will be participating throughout the month. But I just want to flag that for the community and encourage everybody to check that out. The second thing that I want to flag is the Friends of the Library is having their book and bake sale on Saturday the 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we invite you to stop by. And the third thing that I'd like to flag for everyone is Tony Matern, I believe, stopped by. He asked us to let the community know that the Kiwanis Club is holding a fishing derby at Reed's Pond on June 7th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So that's just a few community announcements this evening.
Fabulous. Is there any questions or comments regarding? Okay. So the third item on the agenda are the minutes from our last meeting of 4/15/2025. I may entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? And that's a vote. To quote Kevin Henderson. The next item is new business. So Courtney, take it away.
So we have a one-day liquor license request from, really it's from the Rockland Recreation Department, also for their adult egg hunt. I believe Olivia was going to be here for that.
Okay.
But I believe that all of their paperwork is in order. It should be in your packet.
Yep.
I can try to answer any questions. If she comes, we can ask her some additional questions if you all have them.
Okay.
Does anybody have any?
Yeah, are there any pressing concerns or questions or comments?
No, they did a good job presenting, I
Yeah.
think, when they were here before.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Okay, and all their paperwork seems to be in order.
The rain date, Sunday the 11th.
Yep, the rain date is the 11th.
Yep.
But currently scheduled for the 10th. So.
Okay. All right.
Motion to approve?
Yep.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Great.
Great.
Awesome.
Okay. Let's see
All
what's
right.
next up. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the next thing that we have on for new business is just a quick town meeting follow-up. So I have a few comments that I'm going to read about town meeting. And first and foremost, I just want to thank residents for attending last night. We had a really great turnout. We had 386 residents in attendance. And just, your involvement helps shape what we do here in our community. And so I just want to thank everybody for coming out, participating, having a constructive conversation and dialogue. And I was just very pleased with the meeting as a whole. I thought it was really well attended and really well participated in. So Just wanted to make a comment about that. I want to thank everyone for supporting the proposed operating budget. You know, it allows us to, maintain these essential services and provides us all with financial stability. The couple of other things, the charter change passed last night. There were 144 votes in favor and 80 votes not in favor. So I just wanted to share that information for those who weren't able to attend last night. The charter change represents a commitment really to a more functional government that is accountable to the needs of today and also creates kind of a responsive path for us to move forward with for town. And your support of the charter change helps improve transparency. So I just want to, thank everybody for showing up, for participating, for sharing your comments and your concerns, and for, making the decision to move Rockland forward in a way that I think will be positively impactful for all residents and for our staff here. And then the last thing that will mention and that I'll ask you all to think about, as over these next few weeks is just that, the fire station project and the fire department ladder truck also passed at town meeting. The fire station project passed 283 votes for the project, 65 votes against the project. And, there's been a lot of questions about, well, it failed at the election in April, and then what happens if it passes at May town meeting? And, we've tried to answer that question, so I'll answer it again. The select board has the ability to call for a special election now that the projects have both passed at town meeting. So you all, I would just mention that to you all to consider. With the election results and the town meeting at odds, it's important to reconsider giving residents another opportunity to weigh in on the projects. And you should start thinking about if and when you would like to call a special election. One thing that I wanted to just put out there is that we would need, if you decide that you would like to hold a special election, per Mass General Law, you would need to hold that election prior to September 15th of this year. In that, the only other thing is that the select board would need to give the clerk the language for the ballot questions 35 days in advance. Obviously, that's not on the agenda tonight, but as it pertains to town meeting, I just think, that it would be helpful for you all to start thinking about if and when you would like to think about having a special election. Again, it's not up for discussion tonight, it's not on the agenda, but it is a result of the fire station project passing last night and the fire department ladder truck passing last night. So those are just my quick recap from town meeting last night. Again, I just want to thank the residents for participating, for being active and constructive in their comments. I think it's really healthy, was a really healthy dialogue, and I'm looking forward to more of that. So
Yeah.
that's that.
Thank you, Courtney. Does
Sure.
anybody else have any comments or questions about the town meeting recap?
Just one, if I could. I want to thank the prior chair, Karen Ripley, and current chair, Rich Penny, for the Charter Review Committee, both members, past and present. I know it was a tremendous amount of work to put that together. I know my comments caused quite a stir, but after spending some time attending the Charter Review session, education session, multiple hours on the phone with both Karen Ripley and Rich Penny, as well as some other trusted individuals in the town, felt it was the best path forward. There's more good than bad in there. I think it's really built a strong foundation for the future of our town, and really look forward to the bylaw updates that'll be required to get us there 100%.
I guess the one thing I'd like to maybe throw out there is with the fire station, or any kind of debt exclusions we have going forward, to try to avoid this kind of best 2 out of 3 kind of a situation. because I think that confuses people, and people are gonna be wondering exactly why we're doing it this way. So maybe the next time we have a debt exclusion, we can have a special town meeting, like in January or so, just to talk about that item. And then we can kind of, as Doug said, do it the right way, do it the way just about every other town in Massachusetts does it, have town meeting first for something as important as the debt exclusion. Get the vote there, assuming it passes there, we put it on the ballot in April, and then it's just bing, bing.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
none
a
of
good
this
suggestion.
confusion and having to call a special election. So, I
Yeah.
don't know, you know, if this,
a good
if we
suggestion.
call an election, and if it passes, hopefully we won't have a debt exclusion for a while.
No,
But
I think it's also, I think it's one of the bylaws is where the election falls versus where our town meeting falls. So as they review the bylaws, I'd love to see them switch that and put the town meeting ahead of the election
We could do that
going
too,
forward.
yeah.
You know, so that we don't have to do the special town meeting in January, but we could have the town meeting leading up to it and then the ballot, and that's the final voice, you know?
Well, you'd
But
have
it's
to
because of
probably
the
push
bylaws.
the town election back in that
Yeah,
case.
so you'd move that to May and you'd move the town meeting to
Okay.
April, like a lot of the other communities do. I think Abington does that. I think they have their town elections this week, or they had them last week, and their town meeting was weeks ago, you know, so.
Yeah, well, you get a lot of information at town meeting that, you know, gives you the best informed choice to go to the ballot with, so.
Yeah, because I
That's
think
the
if we
reasoning.
had that presentation that we had last night,
Yeah,
then I think that we would have gotten a lot more positive
agree.
momentum going into the election. And like I said, I know there's gonna be a lot of people upset
Yep.
if we do this, which, you know, we won't talk about tonight because it's not on the agenda. But,
Yeah, and I absolutely believe Tiffany ought to
oh,
be here for the
no, it's,
discussion
yeah,
too.
I just figured, we're talking about town meeting, if there's a way we can avoid it being a best 2 out of 3, because I know that people hate that, and that's, you know, the primary negative thing I've heard about how we did this, is we're not listening to the voters. Well, we are, well, which voters are we gonna listen to? The ones at the ballot or the ones last night? So if we can avoid putting ourselves in that situation again, that would be.
I agree, but I would say we did make it very clear that it was always gonna be a two-step process.
2 steps, but now it's a 3-step
Well,
process.
yeah, because we got conflicting results, but we
Right.
always said it was gonna be 2 steps.
You need,
you
you
know,
need 2 successes.
It's
for
too
it to-
successful, and so we said that, and,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, if this was close, who knows what would have happened, but 283 to 65, that was,
Oh, yeah,
that was, you know, the entire room for the most part. I know the chief had them counted, but, I mean, I turned around and almost every hand was up, you
Yeah.
know, so, so I mean, I agree, it definitely adds some confusion, but I think, you know, we stayed consistent at that point because we were clear from the beginning that it would be a 2-step process and potentially a third if there were conflicting results, you know, or
Yeah,
contradictory
yeah,
results, so.
if we can avoid
Yep.
the need for a tiebreaker, that would be
I
It would
agree.
be more
I agree.
my
efficient.
preference.
It'd be
yeah.
more comfortable.
Yeah, because that's gonna be a fun discussion in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
It's already been a fun discussion.
I know.
we just have so much fun up here,
Yeah.
don't we?
It's,
Okay,
I
great.
think one other thing about, sorry to chime in here, but one other thing about the charter change that I neglected to mention was just, you know, this is still gonna go through the whole bylaw review process for those who weren't able to attend last night or haven't been, you know, participating in some of these conversations. There'll be a whole year-long bylaw review process where we will go through and make sure that everything is matching up and in compliance and according to state law, and then that will need to go to the legislature for approval. So, you know, there's still some time here before it is officially adopted, but, you know, that this is kind of the first step in the longer process for that, for the charter review to be finalized, so.
Great. Okay, I noticed that Olivia is here. So Olivia, hi, I'd welcome you up here to speak about the one-day liquor license for the adult Easter egg hunt. We already voted okay.
We already-
Yeah.
everyone.
We did already vote
Approved
to
it.
approve it, though.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did, but you can
So,
still inform
One
me.
thing to this is that we originally said that 11th would be the rain date,
That's
but
Mother's
that
Day.
being Mother's Day,
Mhm.
I guess some people celebrate that.
Yeah.
But we were hoping to move it to the 16th. It's Friday, the 16th, we got approval from the parks to use the field that night, so
Okay.
if that's all right with everybody?
So
So,
we voted.
We
redo
revoted,
Just
okay,
revoted.
we can revote it.
do we need
Okay.
the paperwork updated?
All right, you can just make that switch. Courtney can make that switch as long as we're
Yeah.
voting on it.
I think we can make it as long as you vote it.
Yep, okay. So
Verbally.
let's do a revote.
Do the motion to reconsider?
Yeah,
I'll second that.
okay.
All those
Yeah.
in favor?
Oh, all those in favor,
to
oh, I was gonna
reconsider.
entertain a motion, okay, anyway. All those in favor, yes.
Awesome.
Great,
And now
so,
we can do that.
Thank you so much.
okay. So, okay,
So now.
Okay, okay, do you want me to make the motion?
Yeah, make the
Okay,
motion.
so I'll make a motion to authorize the
Yes.
liquor license, the one-day liquor license for May 10th with the rain date of May 16th
right, for players,
for Players Sports Bar.
right,
Yep.
okay. All those in, second,
Yeah.
sorry, all those in favor.
You were doing so well,
You
too.
got it?
Let's proceed.
She was on cruise control.
Yeah, that's all right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
You're
you,
Olivia.
Olivia.
welcome, thanks, Olivia. Okay. Next on the agenda is old business.
I have none.
You have none, okay. Well, there was,
Oh, wait,
No,
old
that's
business
in
or
the-
other
no,
new
other new
business?
business.
Other
I'm
new
sorry.
business.
oh, other,
reasonably
other new
anticipated.
business.
I'm sorry, I
Oh,
skipped
okay,
ahead.
sorry, other new
That's okay.
business, right, oh,
I have
duh,
none.
all right.
Take a first day.
Okay,
It's all good.
so there's none, okay,
Yes.
next is the old business.
Yep.
So,
There's just two things on this section today. The first is just an update on the, requested, required improvements and corrective action for 167 Union Street,
Okay.
Also known as the Banner. I believe Mr. Barry is here tonight. As I understand it, the board has asked for updates, but as of today, there's currently a suspension ongoing of the 90 days. I have asked our various department heads and officials to give me an update to provide to you all to kind of save a little bit of time on their end. So I'm going to give that update here. If you have questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
okay,
And then, we can move from there. So as I understand it, the electrical work, so the two key things that were of top priority were the electrical work within the building and the fire alarm system. So as of yesterday, the fire alarm contractor had applied for the permit through the fire department and the associated electrical permit through the building department. Those had been applied for and paid and issued. The new fire alarm covers the entire building, and the system installation is almost 100% complete, with the exception of the live music shutoff integration and the final inspection. I haven't spoken with Tom Heaney today or gotten an update from him today. He's teaching a class. But the final inspection as of Friday, he was planning to schedule that for this week for the fire alarm panel. So that has been updated and installed, and the deputy chief of fire is planning to go this week to do that final inspection. The building department, we still don't have any electrical permits issued. The electrical contractor has not started work there and has not paid for the permits. Mr. Kemet spoke with their electrical contractor on Wednesday of last week. He confirmed that he would pay for the permit, but he was awaiting his own payment. So, I think that portion of the upgrades is still, unclear as to the status of that work. Other than, there's some permits that have been tried to be pulled but not actually executed or paid for. And the update from the health department is just that, if the town or the select board allows the Banner to reopen in whatever capacity that is, that there will need to be a food reinspection of the location. But as of right now, that's not been requested. So that's just a quick update. Seems like there's some progress on the fire alarm system, which is, I think, was the top priority for from a public safety perspective. but still some work to be done on the building permits and electrical permits that are required for some of the work that has already been done and some of the work that needs to be done. So that's my update on 167 Union Street. Does
Okay.
anybody have any questions for that? It's not technically a hearing, so I don't wanna,
Right.
but I'm happy to answer any questions. Or
Yeah.
find out the answers to questions and get back to you
Yeah.
all if
How-
we don't have them.
Do you know offhand how many days it's been within the 90 days? Like what?
It's a great
I
question.
can't remember.
It's probably been about 45 is my guess.
Okay.
Something around there, maybe closer to the 30.
Okay.
It was
I can
5 weeks
verify.
ago
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
it started.
All right.
so.
Um,
From the 90-day, it's probably been closer to the 30-day mark, but
Okay.
from the beginning of this conversation,
Okay.
it's
all
probably
right.
been closer
Mr.
to
Barry,
60.
did you want to say anything?
Sure,
Or you-
I know she got her update yesterday,
Yes,
so the electrician has pulled his permit
yeah,
today. And I had asked him last week to pull it, and he had reviewed stuff with Mr. Emmett, the electrical inspector, and he's just coming back from time off, so he pulled it today. He texted me, so he's in there later this week to begin his process, just like the alarm people. And I've been in touch with Tom. I believe tomorrow he's coming over to the building. They asked me a couple of questions today. I've been in touch with them. And I haven't reached out to Delhi in a while, but a couple of weeks ago I was in the Cedar. As far as scheduling the fire alarm, I understand today from the fire alarm installer that he is in contact with Mr. Heaney, and that is something they're working on this week. And that's basically where I am on the building.
Okay.
Any delay or any slowing down has been a result of personal time off with the alarm people because he had an illness, and he still does. And the electrician took time off to visit his granddaughter for a couple of days.
Okay.
So,
All right.
but we're on track. We're working towards better good, and can answer any other questions if you have for me.
No, we're just rooting for the banner. It's a kind of an institution in Rockland, so I'm glad to see there's forward movement on it.
Yep. It's taken a little bit. We had a little bit of time getting those plans drawn by the architect, but I went through 4 different architects to get a guy to do it as quick as I could get it done, so.
Okay. Well, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? No?
I'm good.
Okay, great. All right. So, next in old business, the appointments to the Open Space and Recreation Plan Update Committee.
yes. So I think, as has been discussed a couple times before, and also, there was a vote about it last night at town meeting, the open space and recreation plan is expiring and needs to be updated. Updating this plan allows the town to access various grants for open space and recreation activities across the community. And so our town planner was going to be here tonight, but she is going to be on the ZBA, so I'm gonna stand in for her here. So she is looking for you all to, vote to appoint these recommended appointees in front of you. I might have some updated ones from the ones that you received previously. I can read them out, and then I think we're still looking for a couple of people to fill these seats, but the goal is to somewhat simultaneously be doing the update to the open space and recreation plan and the housing production plan at the same time. There will be some joint meetings, not all joint meetings. And really, we've been working with MAPC to secure some funding from them. So we've secured $55,000 from the town to issue these plans and 50,000 in grants. Typically, these plans individually cost about $100,000, so we're trying to consolidate efforts and try and work in a fiscally responsible way to meet the needs for both of these plans that are required. Many of these are required by the state to secure different funding sources. And so, Allison was working off of the previous makeup of the group and has asked, from representatives from the ADA Commission, a rep from the Select Board, a representative from the Conservation Commission, the Council on Aging, the Open Space Committee, Recreation, School Committee, Youth Commission, which and the Parks Department or Parks Commission to help facilitate the update of this plan. And then we will have many community meetings throughout. I believe we're going to be kicking those off this summer to kind of get feedback from the community on what they'd like to see, how they might like the plan to be updated, any ideas. So stay tuned on the community engagement piece of things.
Okay, and the people's names that are on this sheet, they're all reappointments?
They're all new appointments.
I think they're all
They're
new
they're all new,
appointments.
okay, so.
But they're all the same makeup of
Okay,
the
so we're-
previous. So do you want
Right.
me to read the names that I have here? I have John Melvin from the ADA Commission, Lorraine Pratt from the Conservation Commission,
Okay,
Gary Schwartz from the Council on Aging, Donald Can from the Open Space Committee, Jean Blaney from Recreation. Jean is also going to serve in the Youth Commission spot. And then Michelle Bissonette from the School Committee and Joe Reese from the Parks Department,
okay,
Parks Commissioners. We still would like a representative from the Select Board to join that.
We also have listed resident George
Team.
Anderson.
yeah.
Oh, yep. Where do I have that? Where do you see that?
He was in an email communication we got.
Yeah,
Oh,
it says
okay.
it on our sheet, number 10 on that page that we have anyway.
Okay, great.
It says resident George Anderson.
All right. George Anderson.
Okay. So in a future meeting, we will have all these people here to appoint them.
No, we can do it now.
Yeah, I think you can do it now.
Oh, we can do it now?
I didn't
But we should
invite.
talk about select board member.
Right,
Yes.
I am willing to do that.
Because I was gonna.
You're gonna nominate me. Yeah. Parks is something that's near and dear to me, especially coming off of community preservation.
Yeah.
We reference that a lot as we make decisions and look for new ideas, so
Okay.
would love to have a hand in updating this.
okay,
Sounds
Is-
good. yeah.
So now we have all 10 spots filled. So
Yeah.
okay.
I'll-
So.
do you want me to make a motion?
Yeah, I will entertain a motion to appoint the aforesaid slate of volunteers for the Open Space and Recreation Plan Update Committee. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. I'll read the names just so that
Okay,
we're on
sure.
board. I'll make a motion to appoint John Melvin, Steve O'Donnell, Lorraine Pratt, Gary Schwartz, Donald Can, Jean Blaney, Michelle Bissonette, Joe Reese, and George Anderson.
Second.
Second. Good. Okay, all in favor? Great, thanks for stepping up.
Perfect.
Okay, next on the agenda, other old business not reasonably anticipated?
I have none.
You have none, okay. Next is select board liaison updates. Do we have any of those? No, I have none either, I have none also. So we'll go to town administrator's report and correspondence.
I think the only thing that I'll mention is obviously Doug is not here this evening. He is out dealing with some family-related health issues. So in the interim, if anybody needs to get in touch with his office, they can reach out to me directly. I am here and available. That's really the only comment I have for tonight.
Okay, thanks. Okay, select board comments. The comments and opinions expressed by individual members do not necessarily reflect the views of the select board and are the opinions and comments of only the individual member. Okay, select board member O'Donnell?
So first, I want to thank everyone who attended the annual town meeting last night. discussion on the articles were thoughtful and informed, and I appreciate that. Second, I'm going to echo Courtney and highlight that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I'll be wearing this pin for any meetings we have in May. Rockland Recreation, Council on Aging, Rockland Memorial Library, Rockland Public Schools, and WRPS are hosting and facilitating events related to mental health education and awareness. To see a listing of events, as Courtney mentioned, you can visit our library website at rocklandmemoriallibrary.org or Rockland Recreation website at rocklandrec.org. And finally, I'd like to highlight that the Community Preservation Act Committee has one open Select Board appointed seat, with another coming available when my appointment expires on June 2nd. To apply, download the board or committee appointment application from our town website and return it to Susan Ide, Executive Assistant to the Select Board, or stop by Town Hall and speak to Susan for a paper copy of the form. There are a number of other appointment openings across town committees. The board and committee database, which can be launched from our town website, is a good source of information on which committees have openings. You can also chat with our town clerk for any other opportunities.
Great, thanks, Steve. Select Board Member Rockland?
Just, echo the comments that have been made already about town meeting last night. I think our town works best when we have the residents participating, and I was thrilled with the turnout last night. I haven't seen it that full in a number of years, since a while back. But yeah, it was a great turnout, and we were able to get the business of the town done, and we got to listen to a lot of different opinions as well, and I thought everybody behaved and was very respectful to each other's opinions, whether they agreed or disagreed. So I look forward to more meetings like that in the future.
Excellent, thank you. Select Board Member Ellard?
Yeah, again, thank you for everyone who came out to town meeting. It was nice to see the gym, to the auditorium, relatively packed. And then, I think this was mentioned during Courtney's about the library is having their bake and book sale. I know I like to go there and get some goodies, so definitely go to check that out this Saturday. And that's all I got.
Excellent. Yeah, I want to echo what everybody else said. And I really like the diversity we saw at town meeting last night. We saw a lot of young families. We saw the union members come out. And, we saw a lot from Leisure Woods too. So I just wanted to thank everybody. And it was a true, the true essence of democracy really shone last night. So yay us. Okay. With that, I will entertain a motion to end our meeting.
Otherwise known as adjourn.
Yes.
Adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.